Many have searched for the truth on the mysteries of our world. But in reality, there are no mysteries, only a lack of information. These are the unveiled mysteries of light. What is Majestic 12? The organization is claimed to be the code name of an alleged secret committee of scientists, military leaders, and government officials related to Area 51 and matters dealing with the extraterrestrial presence on Earth. What is the truth?
It is an organization with the central headquarters in the United States. It's formed by 7 important organizations and 5 not that important.
Was it called Majestic 12 because it is composed by 12 organizations?
Correct. You can also add that each organization is composed by 12 members too.
But what kind of organization are they?
They are organizations that contact with extraterrestrials. One of the organizations is in charge of Area 51.
Who is in charge?
There is no person in charge, since they are many.
Who are the components of this organization?
The so-called Men in Black.
Where do these Men in Black come from?
Most of the Men in Black are former agents of the FBI and CIA. Some of them also come from other forces like the Navy.
Are they something like parallel organizations to the American government?
Correct. The American government doesn't know about many things because these parallel organizations hide many things.
Could one say that Majestic 12 controls the country?
It controls the country at extraterrestrial level. In politics, they don't interfere.
But, do they have some influence in politics?
Yes, they have influence, because there are many senators, governors, etc. who are part of the organization.
When was the branch of Man in Black created?
It was created in 1947, after the incident in Roswell. There are many Men in Black who work in combination with the Greys to threaten witnesses that have sighted ships. They have intimidated some of them so that they don't speak, and to others they have made them look like crazy people or they have murdered them and made it look like a suicide.
John F. Kennedy announced his intention of arriving to the moon and everything was a farce, because there were terrestrial bases on the moon already in which terrestrials and extraterrestrials were working in. Is this true?
This is partially true. I say that it is partially true because it was not totally a farce, since man didn't have the appropriate technology to go to the moon yet, but there was a collaboration with extraterrestrial you could call good Greys.
This means that the bases that already existed on the moon were made with extraterrestrial technology?
That's correct. The terrestrials had been taken to the moon by the spaceships of these good Greys.
What was the reason that Kennedy accepted working with these aliens?
Obviously due to the eagerness of knowing, of discovering new things. This avidity is a natural part of the idiosyncrasy of all the beings of the creation, but Kennedy's ego impelled him to conquer the moon using their own technological means and not someone else's means. So much so that when he was incarnated he didn't allow that the artificial satellites use extraterrestrial technology. It was a very terrestrial pride that impelled him. Kennedy sustained that the aliens could collaborate with us, for example in the construction of facilities or in the development of technology, but not to replace us in those things that we should do by ourselves. According to these ideas, the recently created NASA began to develop in 2 places, in the center of the United States and in Florida, and the reason for Project Columbia to go to the moon when in fact they were already on it using alien technology?
I understand. Where did those good Greys come from?
In fact, there were 2 races of good Greys, not one. One of the races came from Spica. Unlike other stellar systems, in Spica there are 3 inhabited planets, with different races of extraterrestrials. There are Greys on Spica 3 and Spica 4. Most of the abductions that people have reported to be abducted in the bedroom are carried out by extraterrestrials from the planet Spica 4. The main reason is that their male population is becoming sterile and for that reason they impregnate their women with those who have a similar DNA. In Spica as well as other stellar systems, there are also negative races. In Orion the same thing happens. In Orion 3 there are warriors, in Orion 4 there are philosophers, etc. Not necessarily in a certain system all the beings are good.
Concretely, where do the other good Greys that contacted with Kennedy come from?
One of the races came from Spica and the other from Aldebaran 4.
Milton W. Cooper says in his report that the Good Greys offered their help with the condition of a nuclear disarmament, and the American government refused their help.
That negative response was due to an imminent nuclear conflict with the Soviet Union.
Did the American government make a deal with the negative aliens then?
Correct. The hierarchs of Area 51 want the aliens to give them the technology to arm murderous weapons. An agreement was signed, and surprisingly there was a very specific number which was repetitive. The spaceships were 51. The agreement, casually or accidentally, had 51 pages, and later on there was a military base called Area 51.
The irony of that concept is perfectly clear.
In the same ways that the human being uses mice of guinea pigs, as well as chimpanzees, to inoculate virus with the purpose of developing a vaccine, the aliens make the same experiments with humans. But the human being is so basic that it's as if the chimpanzee told to the scientist, "Well, give me more bananas and I'll allow you to experiment with me." The human being is so arrogant that his same arrogance blinds him. I refer, obviously, to spiritual blindness. And I say it because those exchanges will always be beneficial for the aliens, never for us, and in this way, irrationally, they allow to experiment with defenseless poor human beings, which is absurdly a conceited race. I tell you now that the negative Greys who signed the agreements didn't keep up with their side of the agreement.
Did Kennedy visit Area 51?
Kennedy knew everything. He was one of the few presidents who were aware of everything that happened there. The other presidents, even the current president, were only puppets.
Another question I have is about the truthfulness in which Cooper is saying that there are bases on Mars with human personnel who were taken by the aliens of Area 51. What is the truth about this?
There are no terrestrial bases on Mars, but it is true that some people have been taken to the Red Planet by extraterrestrials. They were taken to some satellites of Jupiter and of Saturn as well.
Did they simply take them to sightsee there?
Correct, but I repeat that there are no bases there. As a simple anecdote, and now that we are speaking about it, I inform you that an extraterrestrial civilization is living underground at the moment, that is to say, non-Martian civilization. They inhabit big caves and they will be transferred to another planet soon.
And NASA knows that Mars is inhabited?
No, NASA doesn't know it. Those who know are in Area 51.
I understand. Was James Forrestal really murdered by the Man in Black, as Cooper says?
Yes, the fact is true.
Was Russia aware of Area 51?
Yes, I confirm it to you. Russia was not only aware, but they even had a special laboratory where Russian scientists worked alongside with the same Greys that made a pact with the United States.
Does this continue at the present time?
No, not at the present time. Russia has dismantled its laboratories because they don't have the economic power to sustain them.
And how do the United States get the funds to maintain Area 51?
There are many American senators that are in combination with the cartel of Medellin, in Colombia, and also with those in Ecuador, Mexico and other places. They give the approval for the drug traffic, especially opening the borders so that they pass the drugs. 40% of the money obtained in this way is used to finance Area 51.
Is President Bush aware of this?
No, he ignores it completely.
Well, another point is clear. Concretely, at this moment, are there bases of terrestrial and extraterrestrial in our moon?
On the hidden face of the moon there are small bases, but they are extraterrestrial bases, not terrestrial. The terrestrial people of Area 51 can go whenever they want, but the bases, I repeat, are not terrestrial.
Do those bases belong to the aliens that made a pact with the United States and are in Area 51?
Correct.
Aren't there other extraterrestrial bases on the moon from other races?
In the past there were, but not at the present time. What happened is those gray aliens took control, so to speak, of the satellite, and they don't allow another bases to exist. In the past, other extraterrestrial races have been on the moon as well. There are 49 monoliths there that were built by extraterrestrials.
Who built them?
The builders were the aliens from Orion 3, the same race that were the architects of the pyramids in Egypt.
Another of the things that Cooper said was that the extraterrestrials showed a holographic image of the crucifixion of Jesus, and the holographic image was even filmed. The aliens, who were showing that image, said that they could travel through time.
It is true, they can travel through time. However, the holographic image of the crucifixion of Jesus was not real. It was displayed by the negative rays in order to deceive humans and manipulate them.
When the astronauts arrived for the first time to the moon, did they already know that bases existed on the moon? I ask it because it has leaked out that they saw those bases from the ship.
No, they didn't know anything and they were completely surprised. This surprise was revealed in the conversations they had when they commented what they saw. They even listened to the voices that came from those bases and they also recorded them. But these recordings were obliterated by NASA soon after.
Obviously, the astronauts were silenced. Were they threatened with death?
Not directly. They appealed to their sense of patriotism. In the United States, the patriotism is very severe. The crime of betrayal to the homeland is punished with shooting.
I understand. Did the aliens who survived the accident in Roswell really collaborate with the personnel in Area 51 as Cooper says?
Yes, because they had no other choice. I leave all my light to you.
See you later, Master, and thank you.